Yo, what is happening? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I'm going to wait for a few folks to hop in here. Hope everything is going well. Hope everybody can hear me okay. Yep. See folks popping in. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me know if you're having issues hearing me so that I can adjust myself. All right. Andrea. Hey, Andrea. I see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm going to wait for a couple of folks just to hop in. And normally I hate doing that. I hate for people just to wait on webinars. But I'm telling you, my mohawk's itching because this is really going to be an awesome time. I'm extremely excited. Let's see. Elliot's in here. Hey! I see that. Hey, Tanisha. Hey, Tawana. Hey, Michelle. She's like, let's go, let's go, let's go. Woo! Folks are fired up, man. So I'm extremely excited, man. Welcome everybody to Book Speak Close Repeat. I am Dave Anderson. I am going to get into a lot of good stuff. So if you've got pen and paper, make sure that you take notes, write stuff down. I am going to be rocking and rolling here for quite some time. Don't ever feel like you can't ask a question. There's nothing that's off limits. I'm not holding anything back. I'm going to give you all of this work. All of this work. I got plenty of work to give, and I am going to give it. Woo! So it's an exciting day for me. I am going through a lot. I had an injury back in March. I've been dealing with physical therapy for it, and I just literally had an MRI done about 2 hours ago. So, let me tell you something. If you were ever trying to decide as to whether or not you want to be in a casket or be cremated, let me tell you, the oven's looking real good. Because look, if part of your soul has to stay in that coffin for a minute, no, sir, no. I was there said, Mr. Anderson, I'm so happy to let you know that you're done. I said, hallelujah. I started calling everybody. I called Buddha. I called Allah. I called Zeus. I said, woo! I was extremely excited to get out of there, man, and I'm even more excited to be here today to kind of help folks getting in here to get to the next level. So this is phenomenal. I got to tell you, my team and I have been working literally around the clock to make this thing happen. So this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm super excited for you, and I hope you know that because it's going to be awesome. Now, before I get started, I'm going to let you know a few things. I'm extremely unorthodox. That works for me. I don't expect you to be me. So if you're coming here thinking that I'm trying to create a bunch of Dave Anderson clones, God forbid. Okay, there's already a Dave Anderson clone. It's my daughter, and she's. What a piece of work she is. So the world don't need more Dave Andersons. The world does need your unique voice. And so I've been in a very blessed position to be able to help people achieve that. And I want to get into that a little bit later on. But just real quickly, if you're in here right now and you're looking to expand your business, if you're looking to get over your fear of speaking, just let me know why you showed up today. I just want to know really quickly in like one or two sentences why you showed up. So that I can make sure that I'm giving you everything that you need. And if you have a question at any time during this thing, fire them away, baby. Fire them away, because it's going to be awesome, and I'm just extremely excited to be able to bring it all to you, and it's going to be great. So, yes, indeed, yes, indeed. So, let's see what we have here. Hey, Priscilla, what's up? How are you? Rashad says he's ready to learn. Tanya says, hey, Tanya, what's happening? So, yeah, man, just let me know why you're here, and we're going to go ahead and make this thing happen. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Whew. Is there anybody who has not at this point been on a stage? I want to know those people too. you know, because I got something for people who have been on the stage and are looking to polish up their presentation. I have stuff during this webinar where I'm going to talk about people who have never been on a stage. I want to know everything. I want to be able to try and give my all to you, because I promised you a no holds barred. Everything that has been poured into me since 1991, when I gave my first speech at 13 years old, I'm going to hammer out in as much time as we have here this evening. So yeah, please feel free to let me know. Let me know. Let's see here. Oh man, let's see. I think I'm saying this right. I feel like I'm about to butcher your name. Is it Yashi? Yashi says, hold on, it just went away here. Oh, there it is. Are you serious? She said, are you serious? I need to start. Oh, the chat's moving so fast. I can barely catch it. I need to start speaking, and I want to learn from the best. Unfortunately, the best can't be here, so you're stuck with me. Woo! Nashay says, I think I have a story that can help a lot of people, but I don't know how to put it together to get my message across. Absolutely awesome. You came to the right place. Nashay says, I've never been on stage. Priscilla says, I know that's right. I hate MRI. First of all, I don't know what MRI stands for. I don't want to know what it stands for, but they had to do one for my neck, this part of my spine here, and then the lower lumbar. Oh my goodness. Shay, like Shea Stadium. Thank you. Got it. Ya Shay. Hashitashi. Elliot says, I've spoken on a small stage. Okay. Michelle says, do you have any tips for getting opportunity? Oh, do I have tips for getting opportunities? I got all the tips. I got asparagus tips. I got arrow tips. I got pen tips. And yeah, that's about all the tips I can think of. Oh, tip of my tongue. There you go. So no, I definitely have a lot of tips for getting on stages. And I think it's scary if you've never done it. I think it's also a situation where folks get really caught up in not being able to take things to the next level, or they get shy. Sheila says, I had my first book signing this past Saturday. Congratulations. And I lost my way a little bit while I was speaking. I think I was surprised that people came out to hear my story. Wow. Two things with that. Remember I said my first experience speaking was in 1991. I was 13 years old, and I got hired to speak for an organization called the Hugh O'Brien Youth Foundation. And they had, what's up, Abe? They had hired me to speak to these kids, and these kids were like literally seniors in high school. I'm a freshman in high school, and I'm telling them how to achieve their dreams, because I'm on TV, I'm doing radio and all this good stuff. And I have my speech formatted the way that I want to have it formatted, but you know, sometimes mama come in and says, well, you need to do it like this. And my mama came in and she printed it out a different way. And the second I got to the joke, and the joke was hitting, it was something like, you know, sometimes you need your parents, even aside from feeding you, to like provide you, you know, food, clothing, shelter, and a nice swift kick in the butt. For a 13-year-old to say that, and keep in mind, this is 1991, so, you know, I could have said ass, but I would have got my mouthwash out with soap. But for the time, that was a killer joke. And as soon as I said it, the room just like lost it. And as soon as they lost it, I lost my page. I didn't know where I was for like 30 seconds. I'm like, so I was completely just all over the place, and I've been there. And sometimes what I think I've learned from that is, I don't care how old you are, how young you are, whether you're black, you're white, Latino, if you're an amputee, if you're a single mother of three, everybody has a story to tell, and somebody wants to hear it. And so we're going to go over how to find your tribe, how to find your niches, and get into what that's going to look like for you moving forward. Priscilla said, I used to compete in oratory on stage and did a lot of speaking and fell off. You know, I've never done an oratory competition. I just didn't feel like, I just didn't, you know, because I just never did. Until I got older, I never knew there was such a thing. Let's see here. Celeste says, I want to make sure I provide great content. I've been in business for 15 years, but any certs I'd have don't make me relatable. I want folks to walk away feeling more knowledgeable and confident. Yeah, that right up in here. all day, every day. So it to me, man, I tell people all the time, like my GPA will bust your ass, but I'm not really here for education or certifications or any other Asians, unless it's Rhythm Nation Janet Jackson, because that right there, ding, 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 ding. Shh. Sorry, I was having a moment. Look, I promise you, I'm not on any drugs right now. Just the water. There's nothing funny in the water, I swear. This is just me being me. I like to have fun. That's just my personality. I don't take much in life seriously because I've been through a lot of serious things. That's my whole thing. And I want to be able to make sure that you guys understand that it's okay. Whatever your little quirky personality is, roll with it. You know, I know a guy named Josh who's a speaker. He's a phenomenal speaker, and he has MS. And he doesn't do anything to hide the fact that he has MS. He makes it a part of his presentation because it's a part of him that he can't divorce from himself. And so it's extremely important for you to recognize those things about you that will allow you to just get in there and make things happen. You know, and it's amazing to do so. And I'm just excited for folks who are in here and ready to get it going. Let's see here. Let's see. Let's see. I'm just going through all these chats. Wow. On conference call, we'll join the chat in about 45 minutes. That's Abina. Priscilla says, are certifications necessary? I've been told authoring a book sets the stage for public speaking, true or not. Don't make me get out of my seat today. I know that whole Janet Jackson routine. I know that's right, 8. TJ said, why did I break into the Janet routine too? Look, man, let me tell you something. Christmas Day, one of the greatest joys of my life, and this is when you know that you're maturing as an adult. I'm a big fan of giving, you know, and I love my sorry, I saw the countdown to think you already know. Anyway, I'm a big fan of giving. And my wife, who I've known since I was 17 years old, the second I met her, I told her I was going to marry her, and she thought I was nuts, but she's my wife, so who's crazy now? She'd never been to a Janet Jackson concert. I've been to 5. Yes, 5. I'm a Janet stan, Jack. And so Christmas comes, and she's not thinking much. She was like, just make sure you take care of the kids. Don't really get me anything special. And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. So I go to the record store, and I pick up a Janet Jackson CD, and I take a box cutter. I'm from the hood. I know how to use a box cutter effectively. Moving on. So I take the box cutter, and I cut along the perforations of the plastic, and I stick into the back of the CD 2 Janet Jackson tickets. And then I seal that bad boy back up. I'm from the hood. It is what it is. Anyway, anyhow, so she's opening, she's freaking out. Front row, Janet Jackson tickets. And we still ain't seen that show because Janet's pregnant. And I don't know when that show's going to happen. I don't know. Look, man, you know, Jackson's, you never know. So, yo, y'all say I went to that Velvet Rope tour. Actually, one of my buddies, his name is Chuck. He actually got to get on stage, and Janet actually harassed him. I was mad because I was like literally right next to him. She could have picked me, but I don't think I would have fit in the straps because I'm a rather big guy and he's kind of tiny. And yeah. I'm crazy. But it's an exciting time, man, to just be able to give and to be able to share. And that's why I'm doing this. That's why I do what I love, man, to not only make a difference in the world, but to provide a living, you know, for my family. Like, that's above all else. And yeah, kind of still upset about the whole Janet Jackson tickets thing, but I digress. There are people here who have never spoken who want to speak. To answer your question, though, certifications don't matter. They really don't. I will say, hey, Spoonhead, I will say that you know what certifies you? Life experience. Here's what I mean. And people can debate me up and down on this. And I'm going to get to the whole, you know, slideshow death by PowerPoint thing in a minute, but we ain't there yet. I want to vibe with my people right now. You can go to school and learn how to be an excellent soldier. You can be a military tactician, okay? Or You can go through basic training, get the napalm, go out and get grunt work and, go on the ground and start, shooting at insurgents and knowing what it is to be like. The person that I would want to lead me is the person who's actually been out on the field, not the person who heard it in the classroom. Okay? Anybody can regurgitate anything that they've been taught, but do they have the experience to bring it to the forefront? Can they actually make you better as a result? Is your life or your investment safe in their hands? And those are questions that you have to be able to answer. And a lot of people with certifications just can't do that. There's no substitute for actual experience. Tobias says, do you have to write a book before becoming a public speaker? Absolutely not. Like I said, my first gig, I was 13 years old. I will say that having a book, my good friend Rodney Perry, who you may know from the Monique Show, he's done a bunch of stand-up specials. He said to me once when I told him that I was writing my first bestseller, which was Common Sense Ain't Common, available in fine bookstores right now. He said, wow, I can't wait to see what happens. I said, what do you mean? He said, writing a book makes you an instant expert. And I said, wow. And I didn't get what he meant at the time. But because I had written a book on common sense, then all of a sudden all these things started happening. I wound up getting in different publications, and I'll break all that good stuff down. But it definitely helps. Yashay says, so how do we help others to know that our experience is valid? Good question. Here's my answer. In 2004, Jay-Z famously retired and dropped the Black Album. And without a minute to spare, Lil Wayne got on a record and said, I'm the best rapper alive since the best rapper retired. The next week in my studio, I'm face to face with Lil Wayne like I am with you right now. And I said, Lil Wayne, I said, bruh, the best rapper alive since the best rapper retired? And he didn't bat an eye. He leaned in forward and he said, you know what, Taz? I tell them challenge me. And until this time as they challenge me and beat me, I'm claiming it. Now, say what you want about Lil Wayne, whether you like his particular cadence and flow or whatever the case may be. Lil Wayne has done quite well for himself. And at the end of the day, what he was saying was, you have to own your authority. You have to own your place in the sun. Like, everybody has their own way of shining. And whatever that is, people will gravitate to it. Not to mention, people have this awesome thing called a bullshit detector, and they should be able to detect whether or not you're on some bullshit. So yeah, you don't need a whole bunch of stuff. A lot of y'all have magic feather syndrome. If you've ever gone and I love doing impressions. It's just what my thing is. I can't help it. I like impressions. You lucky I ain't tell you my Bill Cosby story. But magic feather syndrome is this. If you are a parent in here, you've probably gotten Dumbo out of the Disney Vault and showed it to your kids. But I have a way of breaking down Dumbo that most people don't, and I do this from the stage. Dumbo is actually not the main character's name. His real name is Jumbo Jr. And Jumbo Jr. is the son of a very, very famous elephant in the circus. He's a huge star in the circus. He's the crown jewel of the circus. Long story very short, Jumbo Jr. is born with very large flappy ears. And because of those flappy ears, he's made fun of by everybody, right down to the cooling crows who go, I haven't seen a donkey fly. I've even seen a horse fly, but I ain't never seen no elephant fly. So what winds up happening is he meets this mouse, and this mouse becomes his best friend and almost like his life coach, his version of Jiminy Cricket, for lack of a better word. And the mouse says, okay, you're scared to fly. Look, I got you. This is your magic feather. You hold on to this magic feather no matter what, and you'll be able to fly. So he puts it in his little trunk, and he's got the magic feather, and he's flying all over the place. Well, come to find out, the circus tent winds up burning up. The feather was about to burn up with it. Dumbo tries to run in there, and the mouse says, there is no magic feather. You can fly without it. So what I'm proposing that you do is that you fly without the magic feather of, oh, I've got this many degrees, and there's this many people who've been speaking a lot longer than I have, and all this other dumb fly shit that does not amount to a hill of beans. And I'm sorry if you're offended by the word shit. Sometimes I curse. It's just to wake you up. So Yeah, that's that. I'm not really here for people and their excuses. So you can do whatever it is that you want to do. Um, and it's real simple. Um, so I don't want to hear about people in their issues because that's their stuff. You can't answer for that. Tawana, hey Coach Tawana, let me see you sneak in here. So yeah, I am extremely excited. I don't know about y'all, but who's ready to go? Somebody type in the chat room yes if y'all ready to go, and we can make this thing happen. Because I don't know about y'all, but I am extremely, extremely happy, and I am ready to go. I think there's a little bit of a delay, so I'm just going to get ready to get started here. Okay. All right. So folks is ready to go. I'm ready to go too. So let's see here. What I'm going to have to do. Yeah, boy. I like it, Turk. I'm with it. 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 So what I'm going to have to do is get this thing set up. Now, there may be a couple of technical difficulties, so I do apologize ahead of time. So while I'm doing that, is there anybody, and this is a big one, because you might not be ready for this hot seat, but is there anybody who has a YouTube tape of their speech that wants to be put in the hot seat for critique? Ooh, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Let's see here. Excuses are like butt cheeks. Everybody's got two. Wow. Wow. Yashe. Wow. That right there, that's something serious. That was crazy. Man, I'm literally speechless. That literally took like all the it took all the air out of me. Like literally took all the air out of me. I just literally lost it. Somebody said yes on the YouTube. Let's see what we got. Elliot. Ooh, Elliot's big baller shot caller. All right. That's what it is. Send me that link, bro. Send me that link. And we definitely gonna check that out. Definitely gonna check that out, man. So it's a good thing. Let's see here. Got that. I'm just waiting. Let's see here. Almost ready. Trying to get this right. Bear with me, y'all. I'm trying to get these technical difficulties worked out. I am human, and I just did get out of a coffin. All right. So let's see here. Yashay says I can use the clean version, but you can say ass. Yes, I can say ass. I give myself permission to say ass. Ass. Stop. Now make that mother. No, I'm not going to do that. All right. So let's see what we got here. So I'll tell you what. Before I even get into this, I want to see what Elliot's got. Y'all want to see what Elliot's got? Say yeah. Elliot's like, I want this. So we gonna do this. Let's see what Elliot's got. We're gonna go ahead and Let's see what Elliot's got. Waiting for that to load up. Let's see here. Got that. All right, so I'm gonna. Give me for the tunnel vision. All right, so I'm trying to see this. So is it this particular clip? I don't know which clip it is there, Elliot. Let's see if you can let me know if this is the right clip, because it's like trying to see what we got here. So you've got just a few clips up in here. A couple of them look random. Trying to see where we are, because there's a bit of a delay. All right, which one? Okay. Second from the top. All right, buddy. Thank you. Second from the top. This looks like second from the top. Second from the top.
We are going to Vertical Life Farm. Brother Alaric Overbay runs that business. It's an innovative way to grow produce faster, more efficiently, and I'm not sure exactly how he does it.
I don't think that's the right one. I don't think that. Say Cofer Arts Lounge. Second from the top, not second from the ad. Got it.
Saturday afternoon, a lovely sunny Saturday afternoon. Take the shirt, think black. Think black. Chilling today. I'm kid free. Me and my wife gonna hang out later, but right now, I get ready to head to go see my family real quick at St. Cofer Juice Bar and Lounge, 205 East Camp Lisden Road in Duncanville, Texas. All right? Going to check out my people, network and build for a little bit, and give me some juice. And I know Sister Jocelyn puts it up just the way I like it, not full of healthy, nothing beats refreshing beverage. And that's what I need, a cold, refreshing beverage. You understand me. That's what it's all about. Positivity, peace, and love. I might even learn something. And if I'm in town, I'm definitely there on Sunday for the Black Business Brunch. Or you might call it the Soul Food Brunch or the Soul Food Vegan Brunch. Now, whatever you want to call it, it goes down Sunday. Got me? Sunday is the day. But I saw the scene. I saw some videos and pictures on Facebook. It looked real lively, so I'm going to do our thing later on tonight. But right now, it's about St. Cofer. So, here we go. Bring a tear to a grown man's eye in no time. Heading in the warmth of my heart to block the cold times. From G, I go to Barbie playing a hoe. I knew that war and women played the part and where I would go. Somebody asked me where I come from, I say. Somebody asked me where I come from, and I say. Ask me where I come from, and I say. All right. So let's get this out. Woo! Sorry about that tunnel vision, y'all. Again, working on my technicals. All right, so anyway, in NT How. All right, so it is time to rock and roll. Before I do, let's rock and roll on this real quick, Elliot. Great video. I enjoyed your energy. I think you have a lot of fun with it. You want to make sure that your graphics don't necessarily cover your face, and you want to make sure that when you're doing something, even if you're doing something that's like an advertorial, which that kind of was, you want to make sure that you are making it as impactful as possible. You did a good job of letting folks know where you were going, why you were going there. But you want to make sure that you're giving folks some other really good nuggets.
good nuggets. It's time for me to give y'all some good nuggets, man. So we're going to make this happen. So in any event, I don't know about y'all, but I'm about ready to do the damn thing. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to do the damn thing. And I can't wait to make that happen. And we're going to make it happen right about now. So here we go. I am about to get the screen sharing thing popping. We're rocking and rolling. Yeah, so let's do it. Welcome to Book, Speak, Close, Repeat. Yes, indeed. And of course, in case you don't know who I am, I'm Dave Anderson. A lot of folks call me the business bully. Now that we're warmed up and I got my screen popping the way my screen should be popping, son, it's time to get it cracking. It is time to get it cracking. I am a best-selling author many times over. My last book, Pitch, Close, Upsell, Repeat, has been on the bestsellers list for well over 38 weeks now. So I am excited to be here and be able to share my knowledge. The book has also allowed me to grow my speaking business, and it's been an amazing experience. I've been able to, be featured in things like Ebony Magazine. I became a writer for All Hip Hop. I have a weekly column there. I've been featured in the Huffington Post. Been a guest on the Tom Joyner Morning Show. The Breakfast Club, I was there. That was absolutely nuts and crazy. It got into a whole lot of stuff. So I've been around for a minute, and for me, this is really a joy to be able to share what it is that I do. So I hope that you are taking it all in, and we're getting ready to rock and roll, because this is about to get heavy. I am a speaker. I have spoken all over the country. I've probably addressed well over 1.3 million people from the stage. This was an event I did for, I think, the Gilmore Henny Community Fund. This is John Gilmore and Chad Henne, two NFL players. Chad's still in the league. John recently retired. They take a good part of their money from the NFL and rebuild playgrounds. They get the community involved. They rebuild playgrounds so that kids can have a safe place to play. And with folks being shot and acting up and things of that nature, you need safety. You need a to enjoy themselves in awesome situation, and I got paid quite a few $1,000s to do it. It's one of my favorite things to do, man, just to get out on that stage and feel the energy and get to a place where you can just unload and help people and make them feel good about their situations. It's absolutely amazing. Aside from that, here are a few of the organizations that have paid me to speak. So they are very varied. Some of them are nonprofits. Some of them are media conglomerates. Some of them are other speakers on their way up or beyond me. Some of them are radio companies, sororities, charities, banks, universities. So I have been really blessed to be able to speak for all these folks. And I've had an amazing career. My career in speaking is probably, it's 25 years old. That is crazy. I literally just didn't do the math. I've been speaking for 25 years. Dad, I'm getting old, man. That explains the gray, right? But, what are you going to do? Some of the people that I've shared the stage with, this is the legendary Dick Gregory. He's a comedian and activist. This was, a few years ago, when I was still dyeing all those grays out because I have premature gray. But Dick Gregory was phenomenal, and that man poured into me in a way that I can't even begin to express to you. But when you are in your gift and when you're in your element, you're able to really help folks. And my favorite book says, a man's gift makes room for them and brings them before great men. And let me tell you something. I've been before some great men, So Dick Gregory was just a phenomenal experience. I think I was 28 years old when I shared the stage with him, and literally that experience changed my life. Now, when I was about 12 years old, my mother comes home from this book signing. My mother would go out and she would, like to find things to help me and enrich myself, to keep me from, doing bad stuff. Not that I really had the time, but, she said it was interesting to her. She saw this guy and she's like, he kind of reminds me of your dad. But he said all these wonderful things, and I saw him and I got his book and I want you to read it. And he's coming on PBS later. I want to make you watch. And I'm like, oh boy, this is going to suck. But ironically, it didn't suck. And I said, one day, Mom, I said, I'm going to work with that guy. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go out here and speak. And literally, the second that I spoke that into existence, God moved. About a month later, I had my first gig. And then several years later, I wound up working with the legendary Les Brown, who is who is absolutely an amazing individual. He is the #1 speaker on the planet. Elliot said, I bet the elder Dick Gregory cuss you out too. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Yeah, he cussed me out. Huh? You don't sit here, you don't talk to these people? What you want to tell them? Huh? So yeah, my experience with Dick Gregory is phenomenal. I am lucky to be the first of Les Brown's 100,000 Voices of Hope. That was a program that we started. I am very lucky to have helped him step into a bigger arena, not only with social media, but also replacing Dr. Laura. I don't know if you remember this, but a few years back, Dr. Laura, who is a radio personality, if you want to call her that, decided to have an N-word tirade. And in that tirade, she said N-word a bunch of times. And when she did, well, she got replaced by a black man. That was Les Brown. And so he needed somebody to help him book guests, to translate his message to a younger audience that was very socially active via social media. And I did that. So he was in LA. I was in Philadelphia, working on other projects, but I was instrumental in helping him, produce his radio show. And I've shared several stages with Les. Take a Love One to the Dr. Day with Tom Joyner. Done gigs from here to LA to Delaware with the man. He's just an amazing individual. And to watch him to this day, even with sciatica, sit in a chair and electrify 18,000 people. If you've never experienced Les Brown live, you haven't lived. But to have that man as a mentor, I can only tell you it opened my mind to a lot of possibilities that I didn't know I was capable of. So it's a beautiful thing. So one of the most important things that Les Brown taught me when it came to addressing the audience. Now we're going to get into, your speech and speaking and things of that nature. One of the main things that he taught me were these 3 very powerful questions. And I don't care if you are speaking to a group of basket weavers. I don't care if you're addressing the NFL. I don't care if you're talking to a congregation. I don't care if you're trying to sell vegan juice and t-shirts. Elliot, these are 3 questions that every single person will ask. Who's ready? I know I am. Who are you? What is your message? And why should I care? Who are you? What is your message? And why should I care? No matter what, that's what you want to know. Otherwise, what's the point in you being there? Like, why are you taking up valuable time out of my eye space, out of my ear space, to just fill my head with nonsense and BS? You need to get in and answer these questions. And if you have not been able to answer these questions for yourself, you do not need to be on a stage. You have to know these. You have to know the answers to these questions without thinking about it. I'm going to break these down, and then I'm going to show you exactly how I apply them. Who are you? Tell me about you. Like, where are you in the world? What have you accomplished? What have you seen? What does the world look like in your eyes, through your eyes? What is it that is about you that makes you special? What are those things that trigger you? You know, are you a person who loves natural soaps? Are you a person that knows how to help single moms who are frustrated with deadbeat daddies? Do you know how to go and work the court system to make sure child support gets paid? Are you a father's advocate who can help fathers get visitation rights from women who are using their children as weapons? Have you survived domestic violence? Like, who are you? Who are you really? Who are you at your core? You know, when somebody looks at you, what is it they can't tell about you by seeing you? Who are you? Who is that person? What is your unique thing, you know, that gets you to where you are? You know, what is going to thrill audiences to know about you? What is going to make them cry? What is going to make them laugh? Who are you? Who are you? You know? Les Brown answers this question by saying, I was born on an abandoned building in a poor part of Miami, Florida called Liberty City on a floor with a twin brother named Wesley. By the time I was in the 5th grade, I was labeled educable mentally retarded and passed down from the 5th grade to the 4th grade, and then I failed again in the 8th grade. You know, I have no college training. My mother cleaned houses on Miami Beach, and even though she didn't have any college training either, she had a PhD in motherwit. See, that's how you break down who you are. If it was me, I would say my name is David Anderson. My parents divorced when I was 3. I am the son of a single mother from the Richard Allen Projects. My brother is the number 3 sniper in the city. I was the youngest individual, be they African American, white, black, or green, to have a radio contract at the age of 9, spoke at 13, was on TV on Saturday mornings before cartoons at 15, had an amazing radio career with some of the biggest names in the business, and then I lost it all, and this is my story of how I got it back. Who I am, very simple. What is your message? Now, that's a little different from who are you, because people sometimes get who are you and what your message is totally mixed up, and they're not the same thing. They have similarities, but they're not the same thing. Your message is what you're there to talk about. You know, Les has a message called "It's Not Over Till I Win," aka you got to be hungry. I have a message called "Sit Your Ass Down." I also have a message called "Pitch, Close, Upsell, Repeat." Your message is not only just the title of your talk, but your message is also drives you. Why people are there to glean from you. You know, there's a guy I know named Alan, and Alan's message is only about eBay. Now, I know some of you are like, I don't care about eBay. Yeah, well, I will tell you this. You might want to once you listen to Alan, because after 45 minutes of listening to Alan, Alan will tell you what you can do with eBay. Your title of your talk, the way that you position everything is extremely critical. You know, if you have the wrong message, if you have the wrong title, you're going to lose your audience. So this is something that you have to give a lot of thought to. And you can't be afraid to take risks. You can't be afraid to be edgy. Now that you told people who you are and what you're there to deliver, what you need to do is answer the most important question. Why should I care? If I was answering that question, I would say that you should care because there's not a business that I have not made over $1 million within 6 months, because I know how to sell. I know when it comes to entrepreneurs and businesses, what holes are missing. My gift is to be able to help you figure that out. And if you'd like to make more money, if you'd like to increase your ability to live a different type of lifestyle, if you are an entrepreneur, you know, from 6:30 to 2 in the morning, but you're a wage slave from 9 to 5, yeah, you might want to give me all of your attention, because I'm going to show you how to quit that job in less than 6 months, guaranteed. So those are things that people care about. They care about not you, because they don't know you. They don't really care about your story, even though it's nice to reel them in if there's something there that's relatable. They care about what you can do for them. What is it that they will walk away from after hearing your talk that is going to enrich their lives, that is going to make them better, that's going to make them money, which is going to give them hope? Those are the things that matter. And by golly, if you can't deliver on that, I don't know what to tell you. And because at this point, you should hang it up, or, well, basically you should get somebody who can help you do that. Now, let's break down the anatomy of your speech. Yes, that's a creepy woman. This is not a horror film, but I've seen some very, very horrific types of situations when it comes to speaking, and so I want to be able to get you everything that you could possibly need here. So let's go ahead and talk about how a speech should be constructed. Everybody has their own way of getting to the mountain. Everybody, thank you, Sybil, exactly. Everybody has their own way of getting to the top of the mountain. I will tell you this. Every speech requires a beginning, a middle, and an end. This should not shock any of you. But there are some people who are like, have a great speech. I've literally seen people have a great speech and be like, yeah, any questions? So you got to be ready to knock this out. So here we go. Ooh, yeah, let's get down to the framework. The bones. You got to get deep. You got to get your audience deep inside of your story. I mean, really deep. And for some people, that's uncomfortable. I have a colleague that I used to do a lot of speaking engagement with named Jim Hernandez, and he says, if you lend me your ears, I'll show you my heart. And he gets deep down into things that have happened to him in his life when it comes to his father, when it comes to just, being a Puerto Rican kid from Brooklyn trying to make it, what it's like to marry a beauty queen, how he got the confidence, even though he was the shortest, smallest kid in his class. You need to find those things that make people literally take the entire audience by the hand and lead them into almost like a Christmas Carol version of your life as you play it out on that stage. I can remember to this day, and honestly, you are not going to believe this, but today, September 21st, 2016 is the 6th anniversary of my first day of homelessness. And I can remember just sitting there in my truck with whatever worldly possessions I could fit in my truck, thinking about, my God, how did I get here? Literally just a few months ago, I put a show in syndication that is in 30 markets. Everybody on the show is making, 6 figures and up. The lead person on that show is making $1.3 million a year, and that's not counting anything else. And I literally felt like I had lost every ounce of wanting to live. I don't know what what it's like to be homeless on your first day of homelessness, but nobody's trying to help you out. Nobody's trying to look at you and think that anything is wrong. You don't stink just yet. And 6 years ago, I did not know what I was going to do. I didn't think come back. I thought I was a failure. And sometimes we have to learn that things that failures are things that happen to us. They're events. They're not an identification marker. So that's the bones of my story. And everything I just told you is 100% true. Today is exactly the 6-year anniversary of my first day of homelessness. And I still remember what that was like. I remember just thinking man, I sacrificed so much. I made a bad choice in hooking up with somebody who didn't care about me. I tried to look out for a friend in business, and I lost not only, my place in business, my time in the sun, the ability to fly private, having 2 cars, luxury, 3,500 square foot apartment, any and everything that I wanted. I had a driver, even though I had 2 cars. I had it all, so I thought. And then I realized that none of that stuff mattered. So you literally need to take folks down into the bones of your situation, and that's scary for people. But let me tell you something. On the other side of fear, that's where your success is. And so if you're willing to do this, you have to be willing to bear yourself. The best speakers in the world will bear themselves to you. I'll never forget, Les told a story one time about how his mother would take the hand-me-downs of the children that she watched. And she had a kid whose name was David, and he gave Les a pair of shoes. But David, like Les is a 9.5. David's like an 8.5, and so his mother took the shoes, made him put them on, and then put Vaseline on the heels of them, and made him walk around in the in a bathtub, and the leather began to stretch. So he talks about how humbling that is, and being poor when you have several brothers and sisters, and hand-me-downs and thrift stores are just a way of life. So now that you got the bones and you've taken people deep inside of your story, now it's time to give them the muscle. Calm down, ladies. That's what I look like when I take this shirt off. And if you believe that, I got some other stuff to say you really gonna love. You need to show the audience your heart. Like Yashay said, I've been there now. Yo, I feel you. Trust me, it gets better. It really does. You need to show the audience your heart. You have to be able to give them the opportunity to know who you are inside. If something makes you happy, you need to be able to express that. If something hurts you and talking about it hurts you, and sometimes it means that you have a tear in your eyes, so be it. I remember I addressed the church I grew up in a week after burying my grandmother at that same church. And my grandmother had never really seen me speak. She was either too ill or my grandfather was too ill, and so she had to sit back to take care of him. So she never saw me speak. And the first time that I was able to speak in front of my grandmother, she was in a casket. And my grandmother taught me how to read and write. She was my best friend. She was my moral compass. I remember being a kid, I used to get teased a lot. And in that, I would come home to my grandmother. My mother worked 2 jobs. She taught school and she did hair. So my mother was really, really busy. My dad worked for the government and did not have full custody. So I was, pretty much spending most of my days with my grandmother after school. And I would come home, tears streaking down my face. And I said, Mimar, that's what I called her. I said, Mimar. She said, what's wrong? I said to her, well, Mimar, they keep making fun of me. She said, well, what are they saying? And I said, well, they say I'm fat. And she says, well, you are fat. She was like, but you know why? I said, no, why? She said, because you like to eat. And you know what else? I said, what? You tell them that your Mimar likes to feed you well and she can afford to do it. So I wiped my tears. I sat down on the table. She gave me a piece of fudge after she made me eat a salad. And I remember coming home the next day, and I was crying again. And my grandmother said, well, what happened now? And I said, well, they're making fun of my Coke bottle glasses. And she said, you tell them that your mother has enough money to work to get you glasses that you can see, and that they should be so lucky. And the things that you'll see, they won't ever get an opportunity to see with these big old glasses you're wearing. And so I went back. And then I came home again. And I said to my grandmother, tears streaking down my face. She said, what's wrong? I said, they say that I talk white. She said, I speak funny and I use big words. And she said, that's because your grandmother, your mother, your father, your uncles, your aunts, they all have education and they've all made you read. You were reading War and Peace by the time you were 4. A wunderkind. And I didn't know what the hell that was. I said, what is that? And she said, it means it's a special child who has special gifts. You are a genius, and you don't need to diminish your genius for those mere mortals. They are what you call mental midgets, David. So don't you ever come in here and shed another tear about the musings of mental midgets. That's showing the audience your heart. Letting them show that vulnerable side, that before I had Versace glasses and nice things and was on the radio or the TV, I was just a cute little nerd who loved his grandmama, who got bullied day in and day out by people who were jealous of what it is that I had, and so they tried to poke little holes in me. That's showing people your heart. Now, if we're going to move on, you got to show people some skin. Woo! And the skin is basically, you weave everything together. You talk about what it is that you've been through, where, all the things that you've been to, all the places that you've been to, and why it's important at this particular stage for them to take action, whatever that action is. A lot of people hold on to things. If you've ever been to church, right after the sermon, the pastor does what's called the altar call, and he'll say, "The doors of the church are open. Won't you come?" And he's trying to save souls. He's trying to get you to come down and get to that altar and kneel and give your life to God, whatever you subscribe to. But you want to be able to put things in a way that allows you to get a recap of what you've done and how you're going to help them get to the next level. And that's with anything. Like my friend April Beverly, who was on this webinar right now, sitting in the shadows chilling. That is the $1 Million Word Boss. She does things with words that I still don't know how she does, but she makes people want to buy. And she goes out of her way. She's on a mission to help people get better at writing things, at being able to sell things through their words. And to me, that's the most amazing thing in the world. And she does it by not only giving people her experience of what it was like to work in corporate America, but what it was like when she had to leave her job, what that conversation was like with her husband for their child and their expanding family. How she struggled a little bit, how she started to make some things happen, and how she ultimately became the $1 Million Word Boss. And then that led to other things, from her having a new book that's coming out that I wrote the foreword for called Fast Money, and that's all about Facebook ads. It's absolutely phenomenal. But that's what you do. You pull everything together. You got to tie it down. You got to give folks a summary of what they've already heard. The Carnegie method will tell them what you're about to tell them, and then tell them that you told them. So that's kind of what you're doing there. And then you want to ask folks to try and come in to what it is that you have and what it is that you like and how you would like to do that. And it's an amazing thing. TJ's also in here. She is a Media Mavericks coach. And April said, "Thanks, bro." I'm just telling the truth. I am not afraid to tell you things. And I'm going to tell you something else. A lot of folks are scared to make an offer from the stage. But how are you ever going to make a living if you don't start finding ways to incorporate your life knowledge into things that will work? So that's the skin of this thing. And don't be afraid in the chat room to ask questions as we go. I hope that you are enjoying this and we're making things happen. I am excited for you. I am excited to be here. And it's an absolute beautiful thing. So let's get to this guy. Let's get to selling from the stage. See, one of the things that people miss out on when it comes to selling from the stage is they like to wait to the end. And you should wait to the end. But throughout your talk, what needs to happen, and please, for the love of Ray J, if you don't learn nothing else, write this down. You need to, very, very simply, start using what's called neurolinguistic programming. That is the idea of suggesting throughout your talk that you have something worth buying that you're going to sell later on. My God, that's a handsome man, if I do say so myself. Whoo-wee. But he's spoken for and he's married. Y'all can see that ring. You can see the ring right there. But no, in all seriousness, I go out of my way to show people the value of what I bring to the table, what I like to do, how I would like to move, and what's going on. So then Yashe is asking if the book is necessary or some product to offer. Abina says, "I'm here now. So glad this is still going on." Angel says, "I find out when I speak or share from my raw truth, it resonates in such delicious ways. My goodness." April says, my pen is on fire taking these notes. Thank you. Thank you so much. Products, and I'm going to get into products in just a little bit. I do think everybody should have something else that you should have aside from your speech. Your speech is your moneymaker. Don't get it twisted. But it's not the only moneymaker. Everybody has a hero. And even though Les Brown is my mentor, I have another hero. You know how some dudes like go crazy over Beyonce? I go crazy over a woman named Lisa Nichols. And I saw Lisa Nichols in a movie called The Secret, and it was all about the law of attraction. And I saw this film while I was homeless, and I literally I watched it over and over and over again. But that big smile and that big hair, it resonated with me because I saw somebody who looked like me doing what I wanted to do. She's one of the first people, if not the first Black woman, I think, to take her company public. She's a multimillionaire many times over, and TJ Mercer still has not introduced me to her, and that's like her bestie. But that's okay, TJ. This ain't about you. This is about me. But I remember watching something that she said once, and she said that her mentor had told her, who was now the CEO of her company, she said, you know, that was a great speech, Lisa, but you left a lot of money on the table. She's like, what do you mean I left money on the table? If you don't have products and services ready to go, I'm going to show you some shortcuts in just a few minutes as to how to make those things happen, because it's the most amazing thing in the world. And when you see it, you're going to be like, are you kidding me? Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time ever, I am going to teach you the Les Brown method of selling air. Yes, I'm calling it that. It's not what he called it, but that's what I called it because that's what I saw him do. And it was the most amazing thing in the world. I could not believe what I saw. But getting back to neurolinguistic programming, it's very simple. You know, when you talk about how for me, I'll talk about how there's not a company that I can't make $1 million for in 6 months, because I've done it. I've done it for Nutrisystem. I've done it for ADT. I've done it for Comcast. I have done it for Radio One. I have done it for iHeartRadio. If you have the iHeartRadio app, you're welcome. Yeah, awesome. Especially the version for the tablets where they have all those nice little bios and facts and whatnot. You're welcome. Hi, Dave Anderson. I've been in your pocket this whole time. See, not only did I tell you that what I bring has value, but I also established authority and dominance in an area that you are familiar with. So even if you're not necessarily familiar with me, you're familiar with my work. And if you're not familiar with my work, you are familiar with some of the things that I've done. Because remember, you know, I've got a best-selling book. I've been on this stage. I've done that. But if you're just starting out, you don't have any of that. So you're like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Where do I go? How do I make this happen? And guess what? Daddy's going to answer that too. Yes, TJ, I just called you out. Let's see here. Tanisha says, and bear with me on the delay, guys. Yes, I love some Lisa. Yes, I do, TJ. And yes, Elliot's right. The sister's phenomenal. Tanisha says, great info, Dave. Thank you so much for this. I have more meetings to get to, and we will get a link to the replay. Yeah, you can get a link to the replay. Oh, you're going to get this work. And yes, I am going to call you out because, yeah, TJ, Lisa Nichols, that needs to happen. Lisa says, the lady said to her, how could you open me up to magnificent possibilities and not have something of yours to take home with me? Yeah, that's rough. So you got to get folks ready. You got to get them pumped. You got to get them ready to get what you got, you know, because what you're giving them on the stage, that's just the beginning. You know, it's almost like, you know how like, I don't know if you've ever seen like Star Wars or Superman or something that has like a trilogy. You know, after Star Wars, what was there? There's Empire Strikes Back. After that, there was Return of the Jedi. You know, and after that, there's Force Awakens. And then you got 3 prequels. There's always something else, something more, something bigger. Without, if Star Wars just stood on its own as one film, there'd be no, Luke, I am your father. So those things are important. So you got to have them. Now we've gone over the anatomy of the speech. We have gone over, you know, the bones, the muscle, the heart. Now, the question I get so much, and I know somebody's about to ask it, so let me just go ahead. But Dave, how do I find my first engagement? No one's going to book a nobody like me. First of all, you are somebody, because Justin Jackson said that you're somebody. I am. So this is a very, very touchy thing for folks because they get so wrapped up in their head. They do what my buddy Damon John will refer to as analysis paralysis. They overthink everything. And you cannot overthink things when it comes to doing this and getting this knocked out, because I guarantee you there are speaking gigs under your nose. Okay. Good ways to do it. There are bad ways to do it. I've seen people do both. I don't believe in trying to take on Carnegie Hall tomorrow. I just don't think that that's, and I'm a big believer in pushing the envelopes of realism. I am. But I just don't think that makes a lot of sense, to be quite honest with you. So you want to try and find things that are in your wheelhouse. And I appreciate, all of my early gigs. I'm an anomaly. My first gig was paid. I've done gigs that were not paid, because for a while I stepped away from speaking because, and not fully stepped away, but I was so busy trying to build this radio empire, try to build this radio career and this multimedia career, and then that turned into a social media career, that speaking was kind of like, yeah, I do it. I'll go out and I'll do like a career day at a school, or I'll go ahead and, do a function if somebody wants to toss me a quick check. But I'm not really going to be doing it full time. I just didn't think that was something that, was cool, because I was so busy trying to be cool, as I'm sure you can imagine how that went. So yeah, I'm going to show you some places where you can actually go and book your first engagement. I hope you're ready. So if your hand's cramping, you need a break, sucks to be you. We rolling up in here. So churches and community events. Somebody's going to need a speaker. You can do youth day. You can do all types of events. There's always somebody has a ministry for everything. My bishop in Texas, a guy named Bishop J. Lee Slater, who whenever I come to, if I come to Dallas tomorrow on Sunday, I'll be in that pulpit automatically. He said, it's important to have a ministry for everyone, even a juice and cookie ministry. So if you were to come to join the church, the first thing you do is you meet with the bishop over juice and cookies. And it sounds crazy, but it works, because it allows him to get to know you in a disarming, fun, easy way. And why do I say that? Because out of those juice and cookie meetings have come so many different ideas for the ministry and for the community, that he's always needed a speaker. So there's always some opportunity there. But a lot of times we turn our nose up at that. Some people say, well, I ain't been to church so long. If I go in there, my hair might catch on fire. Totally cool. Listen, God don't mind. I mean, there was a thief and a killer standing next to him standing next to Jesus on Calvary, and he said to the one boy, look, I promise you, there's gonna be a place in heaven for you. And he didn't even do not like he did not have a chance. So there's always an opportunity for you to go back to church. There are community events. There are so many organizations that just need somebody to come talk to them, give them some encouragement, anything like that, And you're like, okay, well, with that, how do I get paid? Listen, I'll be honest with you. Some of them might not necessarily pay you right away. And I know you're like, well, that sucks. Yeah, it does. But you know what? Rome wasn't built in a day. And if you're just starting out and you're trying to get to that next level, these are where you hone your skills. These are where you make your mistakes. These are where you flub. This is where you can still have the 3x5 cards and sit down and begin to rock and roll and work out your speech. Lachey said, I was going to ask, do you charge the first time? It depends. If they have a budget, by all means, absolutely. Try to work within folks' budget, but don't sit there and whore yourself out too. Because sometimes it's hard for people to watch you go to another level, because they're used to, they're like, I knew you went. That's why I don't, April wrote about this today. I don't really deal with a whole lot of friends and family because of that whole hookup thing. Let me tell you something. I can't take the hookup, to this cable bill. I can't take the hookup to this heat and indoor plumbing. I just can't. So it's necessary for me. And sometimes that means you have to step out. But I mean, you have Susan G. Komen. So if you're a breast cancer survivor, they have things there. And even in that, if you're Black, they have a thing called Circle of Promise. If you've had breast cancer, they have things like that. Philadelphia called Babashi, which is Blacks Educating Blacks on Sexual Health Issues. Red Cross looks for speakers all the time. There are a bunch of events that happen. I mean, heck, you could go on here's one for free. I'm gonna give you this one. You're gonna love this. You can go to Eventbrite and just like get on a computer and go to Eventbrite and just look at events that are happening in your area, right? And you can start to just see what lines up with what it is that you that you speak to, you know. And let's see, Lisa said, it's Lisa or Lisa, I can't tell. Thank you so much for this wealth of knowledge. You're welcome. I got more where this came from. I ain't even scratched the surface. But you can go into Eventbrite and just look at events and see what's happening and start calling folks up. This is where those cold calling skills I taught in pitch, close, upsell, repeat come in handy. You can't be afraid to get on that phone and start tooting your own horn. You know, hey, what's going on? This is Dave Anderson. I see you have an event coming up on October 30th. I'm not sure if you're familiar with me, but I do have a package coming your way. I just want to let you know that I am available if you need a keynote or somebody just to do a workshop, anything like that. I have a book for sale. I have a lot of value that I'd like to bring. When can we sit down and talk about it? Maybe grab lunch. You know, or if it's something out of town that you want to shoot for, then you find out who the meeting planner is and you start hitting them up. Churches, community events, gold mine, people. Absolute gold mine. Let's see here. Shay said, yes. April said, right. Listen said, I respect my friends enough not to do that to them. I don't mix business with pleasure. I know that's right. And when she says pleasure, she means friendship, people. Friendship. Colleges and universities. Oh, yes. The backbone of any good speaker's repertoire. This is where the money is. Colleges and universities. Here's why. When I was in college and I went to Temple University in Philadelphia, home of Bill Cosby, I learned very, very early on that there's money just sitting around, just literally just piles of money on college campuses sitting around. And I'm going to tell you why. Number one, everything's already paid for. The building's already paid for. When they break ground on that building, it's paid for. Even if it's a brand new building, trust me, it's paid for. Then you have government subsidies coming in, right? The grants and stuff and the way that they're billed for like electricity and things of that nature is different. So all that stuff is already budgeted out and paid for. And then they have what's called a curriculum budget. Okay, and the curriculum budget basically is something that is used to enhance the curriculum of a particular professor or a particular department. So it's almost like a till, you know. And in that till, there's a certain amount of money, and when I say money, there's thousands of dollars. To put that one way, Hillary Clinton gets about $250,000 per speech at a college or university. You know, so there's plenty of money there. Now you also have budget for every semester of about $1,500 per student, depending on the size of the university, for what's called campus enrichment activities. And a campus enrichment activity is you giving a speech, a comedy show, a spring fling, anything along those lines. And so it's an amazing opportunity for you to go ahead and get in on your part of that. Now, every college and university that has a dorm has a housing department. Please tell me you're writing this down. Some people call it residential life, res life, campus housing, whatever the case may be. And those campus housing, those dorms, those mini apartments, those townhomes, whatever they have on their particular campus or a combination of all of those things, they also have what are called resident assistants or RAs. How do I know? I was one. And every RA every year has to go through what is called RA training. So they start looking at around October for who they're going to bring in August to help with RA training. And sometimes it could be team building exercises if you're good with that. It could be a talk about abstinence or sex education if that's your thing. It could be ways to teach kids how to hustle to make money on college campuses. I got an entire talk about nothing but college hustles and things that I did, from cutting hair to actually using the curriculum budgets to rent, I swear on my father's urn, tour buses to take an entire dorm to an outlet mall to shop on the university's dime. Yes, indeed. If you go to Temple University right now, there's something called the David Anderson rule. I kid you not. And the David Anderson rule basically says that you cannot start more than one campus organization in order to double the amount of money that you're allotted from the student government every year. So those are things that are awesome. You got to get in there, and TJ said you get smile and dial. Absolutely. Lisa said, nonprofit organizations use speakers to host and speak at their events. They may not always pay at first, but might eventually have an understanding with you. Yeah, my first, I will tell you, one of my first gigs, the thing I did with the NFL, my first one, I think I got $500. That went up to $5,000 the next year, you know, and it was an amazing time. But I also bring a particular set of skills too, because not only am I a speaker, I'm also a comedian. So I've written for like George Wallace and Ricky Smiley and Tom Joyner and J. Anthony Brown. So I've written jokes that you've laughed at that you didn't know were me. And so I can host a comedy show and stand toe to toe with an Alex Thomas, a Pierre, a Bill Bellamy, anybody along those lines, and hold my own, because I've been doing this, you know, for so long. So if you have a unique set of skills, that makes you even more marketable and moves you at the top of the list. So start looking at your skills, and then start looking at the things and programs that colleges and universities have that you can kind of line up. With that, you also want to make sure that you have one or two really cool signature talks that you can kind of be flexible with. Here's where a lot of people go wrong. A lot of people go wrong because they have a talk and it's so structured, it's so rigid that they can't move. So your talk needs to be like water. You know, like for this webinar, I have little notes and things, but for the most part, I know my material. So I don't need to sit around and write all this out. If I wrote all this out, I could write a book. Damn sure. I'm gonna, but not today and not tonight. I know my material. You know what it is that you know better than anybody else. So you have to be flexible within that. I'm not saying you don't have a structure. I gave you the structure, the bones, heart, the muscles, skin. Do that, you know. But what you don't want to do is paint yourself into a corner where you can't pivot, you know, or get yourself into a Q&A with a question that you can't answer because that wasn't part of your speech, or you're trying to recall that part of your speech because you tried to memorize an entire speech. That is a sucker's bet, and I can always tell cornball speakers, because cornball speakers sit around and they prepare their entire speech. It's not a book report, people. A speech is a living, breathing organism. To see the way I'm talking to you, you feel my energy. If they can't feel your energy, you're not going to be asked back. They're going to give you that check reluctantly, and you better hope they don't put a stop payment on it. You have to be willing to deliver. You got to be willing to get it in, you know, and do those things that are necessary. Specialty groups. This one's a killer. Okay. Say if you're like the next Iyanla Vanzant and you're a life coach and you want to be able to like rub their backs and remove all the negative energy away from them, or if you have some knowledge of a specific part of the law game, or if you're speaking to doctors or pharmaceutical salespeople, anything along those lines. All of these groups need motivation. All these groups have budget. And specialty groups can also include other things, not just doctors, lawyers, accountants, business people, things of that nature. There are a bunch of people right now who fancy themselves salespeople. I don't necessarily want to give them that title because as a salesperson, it kind of makes me cringe. It makes my spine hurt more than it automatically does already. But I will say this to you. They're called multi-level marketing or network marketing groups. And they do have a budget. Why? Because they've taken so many suckers, people's money, and they have, taken that money into a pool, and they actually pay to get folks fired up to go out here and get ready to sell. The difference between me and a lot of other people, I don't have an issue with network marketing. I think it's great. If you don't want to have to develop a product or service, I think it's a wonderful thing. Also, I know a way to make money and make that situation profitable for anybody who wants to do it. So when a network marketing group brings me in, even if it's a small portion of that group and not the entire group itself as an entity, they know that I'm going to close 80% of that room. So their $5,000 investment in me is not a big deal because they know good and well that they're going to make 10. the money that they paid me back, but they're also going to make $5,000 on top of that. That's double your money. You can't beat those kinds of odds. So there are different things there. If you are a makeup artist, you ought to be able to get in there and start talking to people who, like, there are a bunch of people right now starting makeup lines. You know, if you're a makeup artist and you are a speaker and a makeup artist, you can actually go and help people push their products. Because all motivational speakers are, all youth speakers are, all preachers are salespeople on a stage or in a pulpit. That's all they are. I don't care what anybody else tells you. I am telling you the God honest truth. And you know who told me that God honest truth? Les Brown told me that God honest truth. And it's the truth as sure as my name is David Stephen Anderson. Speakers are salespeople first, and you have to be willing to sell. And if you're looking to find a way to make that happen, you can. So don't discount these groups at all, because they're going to be very beneficial to you in the long run. And also, whenever you speak, there's 3 things that you need to do off top. And I'm going to go through these really quickly. I didn't even write this down in my notes, but it just came to me that I need to make sure I tell you this. Number 1, first thing you do is you want to get on that stage before anybody gets there. You do that so you can kind of get a feel for the place, feel the energy, know what you're looking at. You also want to see who are the early folks there. You know, get to know everybody, smile, shake some hands, you know, because what will happen is when you get up on that stage, people will see you, and you might not necessarily see the people that you spoke to, but they'll see you, and you'll begin to feel like that crowd is with you. They're rooting for you because you didn't stay around like a stick in the mud. You didn't even tell them you're there to speak. You're just there moving and shaking in the crowd. I love doing that because 9 times out of 10 when I show up in a t-shirt and some jeans. I'm not a suit and tie kind of guy. I never have been. I promise I never will be unless I'm absolutely asked to do that. Because that's just not my shtick. So people don't see me coming. And then when someone starts to run down my speech, they get excited, and then I show up and they're like, oh my God, that's him? Yeah, that's him. Another thing, number 2, do not, under any circumstance, I'm begging you, please, I'm literally begging you to write this down. Do not let anyone else craft your introduction for you. Unless it's April Beverly, but you have to cut her a massive check, and I don't think you want to have to pay like $1,600-$1,700 just for an intro. It's worth it, but I don't think you want to do that. My point is not necessarily for that, but what I'm saying is don't let anybody outside of your team, you know, get up there and try to intro you without giving them very verbatim instructions, because your introduction is extremely important. Your introduction will set the tone for how people are going to look at you. In that introduction, you can wrap up those 3 questions. Who are you? What do you have? Why should I care? You know, and you can also use the introduction to gauge how the audience is going to be. So the last thing before they say, here, ladies and gentlemen, is the business bully, Dave Anderson, I might put in a joke like, you know, you can also find him sitting on the toilet reading copies of his Kindle book, Pitch, Close, Upsell, Repeat. And when he's not doing that, he's actually playing level 1500 of Candy Crush. Something like that. Somebody will laugh, they'll be disarmed. You'll know where your crowd is. If they don't do anything, you know that's a stick in the mud crowd. You're going to have to work a little bit harder. If they do laugh, you get out there, you shake it off. You get that excitement in there. You get that nervous energy. You start to channel that through your fingers, and you go out there and you rock and roll like you're about to kick this audience's ass in the teeth. Woo! So that's that. And then number 3, and this is critical. This is going to allow you to get more gigs. This will in and of itself pay for it. I don't care if you get a camera guy. I don't care if you use your Galaxy or your well, not your Galaxy, because them things are exploding. Shout out to TJ. Or your iPhone or whatever it is, a flip cam, but you need to start asking people for testimonials. I don't care if it's the meeting planner, I don't care if it's the audience members, but for every speech that you give, you need to get like 4 or 5 testimonials, what they liked, you know, why they would recommend that somebody see you, why they should buy your products, anything like that. That stuff is gold for your reel, and it also gives credibility from people who aren't you, who aren't on your team, who can let other meeting planners know when you send them your package what you have to offer and how wowed the audience was by what you had to say. These things are critical, absolutely critical. Andrea says speakers are salespeople first. This is speakers are salespeople. Definitely, you have to sell yourself. You have to persuade and motivate the crowd to do what you want them to do. April said, "LOL." Okay, all right. So we rocking and rolling. Now, let's talk about the money. Got to talk about the money. What should I charge? And I touched on this a little bit, but honestly, it depends on the venue. It depends on where you are. It depends on their budget. So you want to make sure that you're working within the budget of the individuals, and let them know, hey, listen, I'm willing to work within your budget, and they'll tell you what they have. TJ said, I'm still done with you for that. Samsung is my sponsor. Stop hating. I'm an iPhone guy. It is what it is. And they're not cutting me a check. I need to stop shouting at iPhone. They ain't give me no check. What's wrong with me? Speaking of money, what you need to do is start looking at where folks are, what they have, and then kind of go from there. Now, once you get a few gigs under your belt, once you get a few media appearances under your belt, at that point, your price needs to go up. And you can't be afraid of that, because a lot of times I see folks running from the value that they bring, and you can't, be afraid to ask for the sale at all, because it's too important to do that. Sybil says good stuff. You cannot be afraid to say, listen, my rate is this, and someone will try you. Someone will try you. I'm just letting you know that now. Be prepared to get tried. Someone's going to go, well, my rate, last year your rate was this. Why is it this expensive now? And you got to be like, damn it, because it is. That's why. And don't be afraid of that. Under any circumstances, do not be afraid to charge what you are worth. There are a lot of people in this room who cannot necessarily deliver a 1 hour talk. I can do 2, and not be boring and not repeat myself. But I've been doing this since I was a teenager. Like, I still have baby teeth in my mouth for my first talk. So yeah, if you want to charge by the hour, you can do that. And also, you want to make sure that not only you have an hourly rate, you also have a rate for nonprofits. You also have a rate for colleges and universities. You also have a rate for workshops, how long those should be. And here's my favorite part, because a lot of people don't do this, and they need to, because they don't do this, they don't get all the money they could get. They need what is called a rider, R-I-D-E-R. Now, if you've heard the term a rider before, you usually hear it when you talk about people like, Janet Jackson. I've seen writers from artists who want things like M&Ms, but none of the green ones, because they don't like the way the green ones taste, which I just think is some, superficial bullshit, but everybody has their thing. Yeah, Lisa said the cost of my living increased, so why shouldn't my price? I'm here to tell you, man, when I had that second baby, my cost of living got real expensive, and I had to start having some real conversations with my wife about these checks. So yeah, you want to make sure that your rider is on point. Like for me, I need a chair just in case, preferably soft and wide, because I'm a big guy. I'm not going to use it a lot unless I'm in pain. I need 2 bottles of spring water. I need a hand towel. I need 3 Sharpies. If I'm going to be there longer than 4 hours, you're going to have to give me lunch and dinner. That kind of situation. All that kind of good stuff plays into how you structure your situation. And you'll begin to know, the more talks that you do, what your needs really are. Don't be crazy. Don't be some superficial asshole. That's not what I'm asking you to do here. But give people a rider so they know what's what. And that does not come out of the cost of your speech. The cost of your speech is the cost of your speech. The cost of your talk is the cost of your talk. The cost of your workshop is the cost of your workshop. But your rider, the things that are needed, delivering what they need you to deliver, whatever that message is. When the year after I got out of B school of residence life for Temple University, asked me to give a talk not only about what was happening on campus, but also different resources that folks could have, because who knew it better than me? I spent 5 years in the dorms as an RA. You know, I took a lot of courses. I know where to go to get condoms in the middle of the night. I know where the best food spots are. I can disarm folks and still get the agenda of the people who are hiring me across. And that is what you need to do. Andrew says, where do you start and how do you know where to start? Good question. You start by picking up that phone. You start by cold calling. And what is your, here's the thing, right? Okay. If you're starting out, like never start, how you're going to do, then there's kind of an equation I have in my head as to how I work that out. And I get into this, you know, when I'm coaching my one-on-one clients, thing where you have to look at not only, you know, is your speech good, but like I doubled my rate when I left the Breakfast Club. Doubled my rate. Didn't think twice about it. You want to know why? Because that morning show reaches about 25 million people live, and then another 200 million people worldwide via the internet. So there were a lot of folks who woke up one morning, went to bed one morning not knowing who David Anderson was, and then woke up the next morning knowing exactly who he was by the time Charlamagne and Angie Lee got through with me. So the stock went up. So if you have some credits behind your situation, yeah, you want to start looking at that. You want to also look at the length of your talk and kind of go from there. I'm a big believer that you shouldn't go under $500 if you're just starting out. And I know you're talking about dollar amount, so I totally get what you're talking about there. And yeah, so I wouldn't go under $500 for my first talk. I think between $500 and $1,000 is more than reasonable, and it's totally achievable. You know, if you're not booking $1,000 gigs, you know, you haven't done enough talks yet. So you need to start working. But yeah, I wouldn't start any less than $500 because, you know, you want to start working your way up, man. It's like a muscle. You know, you're not going to start, you know, jumping into the powerlifting competitions right away. All right, so now we move into another part that I really like, and this is important, booking the media. Now, TJ Mercer has a wonderful program called Media Mavericks Academy. If you've never heard of it, you should check it out. It's super awesome. And she shows you how to, you know, get booked on, you know, TV, radio, that kind of thing. And it's an amazing, amazing program and worth every damn dime of it. When it comes to booking in the media, you have to be very, very careful. But one thing most people don't do, they don't book smart. Here's what I mean. If you book a gig in a town, you need to be calling that town and start looking at the media outlets and getting yourself booked. What tips can you bring? What kind of stuff do you have where you can take excerpts from your talk and turn them into bullet points that'll be interesting enough for folks to check out, you know. And you know, thank you for saying I was a beast in that interview, TJ. Thank you, Priscilla. I appreciate that. I'm glad you enjoyed the interview on the Breakfast Club. I'm gonna tell you, I was nervous as a hooker in church because I'd never really been on that side of the microphone. I've been interviewed a billion and one times, but on that level, in this new space, and when I say in a new space, because the radio industry knew me as Taz Daddy, as a person that was a producer, that I could put somebody in syndication and make them famous and make them bigger than what they were. It didn't matter who they were. You know, I took a guy who replaced Steve Harvey and turned him into Ricky Smiley. You know, that's why Ricky Smiley has that reality show. That's why Ricky Smiley had Dish Nation. That's why Ricky Smiley wound up in Miami and St. Louis and Dallas and all these other wonderful places because we were working together. And that's what I did. So I turned him into somebody who was making a good living on the road, you know, somewhere in the neighborhood of, I would say, about $40,000 in a weekend, you know, to somebody who was making $1.2 million base salary, another $500,000 per market, plus you know, internet stuff, endorsements, things of that nature. So there's levels to the situation. So when people were looking at what it is I did, I needed to make sure that what I had at that particular point was going to be good enough for them to build something around. So that's why I dove into making pitch, close up, sell, repeat. That's why I spent so much time. You know, I spent these 6 years while I was building myself up from homelessness to where I am today, learning everything I could about sales because it was extremely important. Let me stop for a second. Abina said, And 500 for how many hours? Yeah, that's 1 hour. Are you crazy? That ain't no all day thing. What we not we not whoa, hold on, anime. We no charity here. Yes, indeed. So that's typically 1 hour. Or 30 minutes. Elliot, I like the way you think. Yeah. And yes, I'm glad I made my coach proud. Yes, indeed. And I'm extremely thrilled when it comes down to it, but you have to be able to put those things in place. Now let's talk a little ground rules here. When it comes to radio, my God, that's a handsome man. I mean, we all just look at that brother. Whoa, I like him. Boy. I'm just saying. If I was me, wait, I am. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so let's see here. So that's how I heard about you. I listened to that interview over and over. Oh, God bless you. Wow, that means a lot. So what credentials does one have to be a speaker? Can it be based on one's life and or personal experiences? Absolutely. I feel the best speakers base their credentials on their life and personal experiences. I'm not here for degrees. Anybody can teach you any damn thing, but can you really make something happen? And that's just part of the course. So when it comes to radio, though, the one thing that you want to do, you don't necessarily want to reach out to the talent, because the talent usually isn't the person that is booking the show. It is usually the producer, the executive producer, or the program director. So you want to either try to reach out to the program director, the assistant program director, and find out who the who's actually booking for that show. And yes, the Media Mavericks logo is on the jacket. It's right there. TJ, I want my cut, damn it. Anyhow, with this, radio is a really funny thing. I was given a half an hour, but the Breakfast Club is a little bit of a differently wired machine. The Breakfast Club is a thing where they tape interviews ahead of time and then chop them up, so you get that entire half hour to rock and roll and do what you need to do, and then you kind of go from there. Some places will give you 3 or 4 segments, which is basically like an hour. Some places will only give you a few minutes, but I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, you'll get more time on the radio than you will on the on TV, and I'll get to that in a minute. Elliot says, well, damn, how can I get my logo on your jacket? Cut the check. It's $500 for a patch. Yeah, that wasn't a joke. So yeah, that's when it comes to radio, that's what you want to do. You want to be able to, get in there, tell your story, and tell it in a way that's compelling. But what do you have for the audience? What can you give them? What's going to make them hot? And then you want to look at what's happening on the news and where you can tie in what's going on in the world today. What are the trending topics of social media that you speak to? And that stuff is extremely important. That's going to move the needle. Now, let's talk a little bit about the TV. Ooh, man, 57 channels and there's nothing on. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. So for TV, one of the people on my team is a lady named Adrienne Paxton. Now, Adrienne Paxton is arguably the best speaker booker on the planet. How do I know? Because, well, every time I turn around, she's getting me a $5,000 to $10,000 speaking engagement. So I'm a happy camper. But it's a situation where I have to pay her, and I pay her well. So if if you want to break it down, you're looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of about $100,000 a year she gets to book me. That's just to book me. So when it comes to that, she says, because she's more of a TV person than I am. I've done TV, but when it comes to TV, they need to tailor the pitch to local newsworthy issues. New reports that are coming out, all these studies. If you're some kind of bug expert and Zika's popping right now, then you need to start talking about all the things you can do to turn Zika around. Zika-proof your life, stuff like that. And you can't. I will say this as an executive producer of media content. I will tell you, you got to be persistent. Folks are busy. I mean, really busy. So you can't give up. You got to keep going in and really, really be ready to make that happen, and not be afraid of what comes for that. And I'm telling you right now, it's it is a hectic situation, man. So you got to be prepared to dig in and make things happen. A lot of folks aren't prepared to do the homework. They're not prepared to do the work. So it's crazy. KT just saying, of course, you recognize that Media Mavericks, baby, but I was touched that he told me he put it on my shoulder because it's like how I am with you guys. Sit on your shoulder, rooting you on. Yeah, it's like my own little Jiminy Cricket right there. Because even though I've been doing radio my whole life, I wanted to make sure that I had the best possible coaching and training, and that should be with anything. So if you're looking to get into speaking, you need to make sure that you have the best possible coaching and training. So, when it comes down to it, we got to start talking about products and services. How do you sell products or services? What does that look like for you? Do you have things that people are willing to buy? Can you get things done that people would love to pay money for? These are real things, and these are things that you have to be willing to ask yourself. So when it comes down to it, you need to have certain things in place. And remember earlier, I told you I was going to teach you how to sell air. Ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen and lady friends, it is air selling time. I am going to show you how to sell air. Now you're like, well, the atmosphere is everywhere. How do you sell air? What I mean is I'm going to sell you something that ain't even been done yet. Like I said, this is the Les Brown selling air method. It's the most amazing thing in the world. First, ebooks. Ebooks are awesome. I probably write 6 to 8 books a year, 2 of which are like full-on books, and then like the other 4 to 6 are ebooks. I will take a weekend and hammer out an ebook. If I see something's getting ready to pop or something's starting to swell, then I'll get all the knowledge I possibly can on it and start hammering out an ebook. For example, my experience with iHeart when I was there was Clear Channel, didn't become iHeart until, well, long story short. With iHeart, I knew that I was the first of my kind. I was the first director of social media. There had never been a title. No one had ever knew what that was. And so I have a thing with social media. I'm pretty good at likes and follows and tweets and hashtags and all that good stuff, and I can kind of see and dissect. My gift is kind of how to dissect how to make money with things that most people can't necessarily make money from. And so with that, when Facebook Live started happening, I started to look at it, and they were just letting celebrities do it. So I'd watch like Triple H and Ellen DeGeneres, and I watched what they did well, and I watched what they didn't do well, and I started making little notes. And I said, if this thing ever goes right where it needs to go, right up in here, so I can make some money, then guess what? I'm going to have an ebook ready to go. And so I have an ebook, it's called Facebook Live Bully, because I'm known as the business bully. So people know, it's kind of like my For Dummies thing, because I'm going to bully you into being great at Facebook Live or whatever the case may be. An ebook is really short, less than 100 pages. Absolutely less than 100 pages. An ebook usually can be anywhere from 20 to 70 pages. You can knock it out in a weekend. I have a MacBook, so I just use the dictation software that's built into my MacBook by pressing the function button twice, and a little screen will pop up, and you'll be able to just go ahead and dictate to the book, and then you can go back and edit it. You can get a cover done for next to nothing. I don't necessarily like to use Fiverr. I feel like there are plenty of people who could, use that money and do other things with it. But, if you don't know anybody, then do that. But, I make ebooks all the time, so you might want to ask the champ. But, when I coach my clients, they automatically know that I want to show them how to make their ebooks and get those things out there. But you can sell an ebook. You can sell it digitally. You can get a bunch of flash drives that are custom with your information, your website, all that good stuff, along with your package, a video thing, and an offer to something bigger in the back of that ebook. There's so many ways that you can flip and work out that situation that is absolutely amazing for you. Elliot said, how important is the first to market approach with ebooks or any service, i.e. talk about the market saturation theory, please? Absolutely. Here you go, buddy. When it comes down to it, I don't care how many books are out there. Just make sure yours is the best. If I told you that there was a chocolate sandwich cookie that has cream in the middle, you would say it's an Oreo, and I tell you you're wrong. Hydrox came out first, and the Hydrox was bitten by Oreo or copied by Oreo, but Oreo had a better marketing plan. It's not who does it first. That is a myth. It's who does it best, and not even who does it best. It's who floods the market with it. Who has the best marketing strategy, who can reach the most people, who can touch the most eyes and ears, who can get people to touch their thing on there. There's a bunch of speaker trainers out here. None of them are me. You know, none of them have sat down for hours and hours and hours over the course of a few years and picked Les Brown's brain over and over and over again and watched speeches go left, right, and here, there, and hither and yon. So when I deliver a speaking course, it's a world of difference from somebody else, and I'll take the Pepsi Challenge against anybody else out here. But you have to be confident enough to do that. A lot of folks they'll put stuff out and they'll just dip their toe in the water. I dive in. I cannonball my big ass into the pool of awesomeness. And I need you to do the same. If you're not willing to do that, I don't know what to tell you. So that's the lick when it comes to ebooks. You know, so hopefully that helped and answered your question. Don't worry about saturation. Worry about you saturating the market. Audio courses. Audio courses are awesome. You can make an audio course from your phone. You can get a recording app on your phone. I'm sure they're on most phones. They have a standard recorder. Let's see, what's the recorder I use, because I have a really good one on my phone. Let's see, what is it here? It's called iTalk, and it's amazing. There's also voice memos. They both work, you know, relatively the same. iTalk does give you a studio quality sound if you don't have a microphone, or you can do an audio course by using Audacity, which is a free audio program that you can download, and you can get yourself a mic from Amazon or eBay for next to nothing, and you just go out and make a course. So if you're a makeup artist, you talk about, you know, the art of laying down foundation, and then with that audio course, you also offer them an ebook, and you sell that thing as a package for a nice little upsell. And then because it's a different type of situation, it then becomes more than an ebook, and it becomes more than an audio program. It becomes an actual course series. So now, you know, people are used to, you know, paying $20 for a book, but they might pay more for an actual course where you're educating them on what it is that you do and how it is that they can be better because of what it is that you bring. Audio courses are easy. How do you get your first audio course if you're not even willing to sit down at a computer? You tape one of your speeches and you turn that into your audio course. You tape one of your workshops and you turn that into an audio course. These are things that are simple and super easy to do that you should be loving and be willing to knock out. So, you know, that's what you do with audio courses. Coaching. If you have a particular skill and expertise, and if you're on a stage, you better. Coaching programs are a great way to not only get your name out there, but build that credibility, because now you have students and now you have people who can actually vouch for your work and get you to the next level. So those things are extremely, extremely important. Yashay says, mouth on floor. Yashay, why is your mouth on the floor? Elliot said, bam. You know, coaching is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Some of the most fulfilling times I've had in my life. I remember when I told my mother I didn't want to be a teacher. She said, well, why not? I'm like, Mom, because we struggling. And I wasn't trying to be disrespectful by saying that, but I was being honest. Teachers should be the most paid profession on the planet. I will tell you it cost $100,000 for Les Brown to coach you. $100,000. $100,000. You know, yeah. So coaching means that you get to teach outside of the classroom, and you get to teach subject matter that you love without somebody trying to observe you like a principal who doesn't know what the hell they're doing, and you don't have to wait for your pension or anything like that. Payday is every day. You know, so you don't have to sit around and start running towards Friday and talk about how these 2 days out of the week are the days that you're really going to go out and live. You can live every single day. And you can help other people live every single day. One of the greatest things I do, like there's a kid named Jimmy Woodruff. And Jimmy Woodruff lives in Nashville, Tennessee. He's a celebrity trainer. He trains, you know, just about anybody who comes through Tennessee. He also is in charge of the fitness ministry at one of the largest churches in the South called Mount Zion Baptist Church. There's only a few churches bigger. Joel Osteen's church is bigger, and I think the Potter's House is bigger. But in Tennessee, Mount Zion is probably one of the biggest church communities. It's got like 50, 60,000 members, and he is the trainer there. He was a certified personal trainer when I met him. He's still in his 20s, and he came to me, and we sat down, and I said, I promise you, you're going to quit this shit job in 3 months. And 2 months later, he was walking out with a box, and he didn't look back, and he started training folks and coaching folks and really stepping into that space of being an authority. Even though there are plenty of people, there's Gold's Gym, there's LA Fitness, there's all these people, but Jimmy understood the importance of branding yourself as a celebrity trainer who can get you results instantly. And then his calling card were his abs. He has an all about abs class, and if you've ever seen Jimmy's abs, they're absolutely ridiculous. I mean, you can bounce a quarter off of them. So for me to take somebody who, had just recently gotten married, was having money problems, and be able to coach into a situation where he's making six figures and is the personal trainer for an entire church congregation in the middle of Tennessee, plus he trains the Tennessee Titans and other folks outside of the gym in the off season, it's an amazing situation to be able to do that, to help somebody take their lives to a level that they didn't think possible before you came into their lives. That's what coaching is. And coaching is extremely, extremely valuable, and it's a great way to make money. And all of you, I guarantee you, if you spent a good half an hour with me, you have a skill that you don't even realize is profitable. And let's see here, before I get to this, can you give us some tips on how to be more comfortable or relaxed during an engagement? Yeah, let me back this up. Good question, by the way, Lisa or Lisa. I don't know if it's Lisa or Lisa. I apologize if I'm butchering your name. Forgive me. I'm going to take it with two S's. It's probably Lisa. What I would do to get more comfortable is realize that this is what it is. This is your time. It is your opportunity to make great things happen, and that you're going to do awesome things on that stage, that lives will be changed, that somebody woke up today not knowing who you were, but when you get off of that stage, you're going to be their everything. I will tell you, and I remember when Les first hired me, and he was like, yo, you need to go quit your job. And I was like, quit my job, Les? Like, you just hired me, but I'm not going to quit my job. Well, sure enough, I wound up losing that job anyway, so I wound up working for Les full time. I said to him, Les, he said, yeah. I said, can I ask you something? He says, yeah. And this is right before an event. And I'm about to bring this man on. And I say to him, I said, I promise you, I've been doing this since I was 13 years old, and not on your level. I haven't had PBS specials. I haven't sold out the Georgia Dome, but I've always wanted to know this. He was like, you can ask me anything you want. I said, okay. I said, do you still get nervous? And he kind of leaned back in his chair, and he closed his eyes. He smiled, and he looked at me. And he said, with a dead stern look on his face, but very, 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 very curled up smile, he said, every single time. Nervous in a hooker in church, and he started laughing. So if the number one Toastmasters speaker in the world gets nervous, what makes you think you won't get nervous? Now, having said that, I will say this, and it is Lisa. Awesome. Sorry about that. Letitia said, I work with Jimmy. He's great. You're welcome. Here's what I will say to you as far as this, and science will back me up on this. So if you don't believe David Anderson, believe scientists who are a lot more educated and a lot more smart than I am, and I'm a pretty smart dude. Your brain interprets nervousness, anxiety, and excitement the same way. It's how you choose to respond to it. So every time I get nervous, I say, ooh, I am really excited. I am so excited right now. I am so excited. Oh my gosh. I am so excited. I'm going to get out here. I'm going to change some lives. I'm going to make some things happen. I'm going to make this money. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go out here and I'm going to wow these folks. I'm going to sell these books. I did a speaking engagement, and they were like, you're going to want to bring some books. There should be about maybe like 100 people there. I was like, okay, well, I'll bring 100 books, knowing I'm only going to probably sell like maybe half the room. And so I did the engagement, and I talked about, entrepreneurship. It was a group of entrepreneurs, and I talked about entrepreneurship. I talked about how, everybody in my household has a job. Most of them are jobs that they work for themselves. My wife writes children's books. My oldest daughter is a photographer. My youngest daughter is a budding baby model. So everybody has something to do. And I'm like, that's the kind of mentality you have to have, and I teach a lot of techniques in my book. And by the time I got off that stage, there was a line from where my signing table was all the way out the door from people wanting to buy my book. I sold it out immediately. I had people wanting to back order the book, because I didn't think I was going to, I didn't think I was going to sell their friends and their family because they were moved by what I did on that stage. So that's how I get over nervousness. I think about the end. I begin with the end in mind. So those would be my tips when it comes to that. It's a godsend to live in your truth and live in your dream. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. I've got a life, I've got a wife, I've got a husband, I've got kids, I've got responsibility, I've got a job. What do I do if I don't have time to do all this fun stuff? Well, okay, not a problem. There are ways to do this. What if I can't get myself booked for gigs, or appearances? Well, that's easy. You can hire a booker. If you have that kind of money to spend, to hire a booker who can get you booked. And again, you want somebody who's not just going to get you booked for speaking engagements, because speaking engagements only limit your reach. It's a matter of getting folks to the next level. And I'm not going to keep you guys much longer. So if you're still with me, hang in there a little bit, because I got some more special stuff I want to get to you. Number one, you want to make sure that you hire somebody who can book you on media, and also book you for actual speaking engagements. One without the other is not a good thing, and Lisa said that's so true. I heard something like that on a PBS show, but it was at the end when I caught it. That was probably Wayne Dyer, who was one of Les's best friends. He just passed away recently, like a couple of years ago. Wayne Dyer is an awesome guy. You should get his book. Elliot said, generational wealth building, that's a beautiful thing, man. Yeah, it is. So you can hire a booker, but that becomes extremely expensive. Trust me, I know. Now, before I even get into that, I want to talk about what can happen when you start to work in your gifts, when you start coaching people. Both TJ and I are friends and coach Andrea Harrison. Andrea is actually in the room right now. Andrea came to me this past Sunday, and we got to working immediately. And I spent about a half an hour with her just on the phone. And she was feeling, and she can tell you herself, but she was feeling kind of discouraged. She was kind of feeling frustrated. Now, if you don't know who she is, her daughter Madison was the little girl who had that campaign to take pictures of the president and the first lady, and wound up in the White House taking pictures of the president and the first lady. Yeah. She's a kid. Like, my kid's a photographer. She ain't met the president. I'm just saying. So it's levels to the situation. But some quote unquote coach, some quote unquote expert said to her that nobody would really care about the skills that she had as far as being a momager. No one, there's no such thing. And I'm like, okay, so explain Janetta Patton, who's Usher's mom, explain Omarion's mom, or Trey Songz's mom, or well, my mom. There's a bunch of people there. Not to mention, you got your kid to the White House. There are skills in that. I said, so you do have something that's there. I said, there are people right now on Facebook. Facebook has 1 billion people, on it at any given time. That means that there are more people on Facebook than there are on the entire Catholic Church. So there's a group there is a niche for everything. I'm a big fan of professional wrestling. I'm a grown man and I love professional wrestling. Yes, I know it's predetermined. I also used to wrestle. The point of it is there's a group on Facebook called Yes, I Like Wrestling. And in that group, adults can talk about wrestling freely without being judged by their too cool for the room friends, especially for those of us who are middle-aged. Anyway and anyhow, Andrea, after we got done, with that half-hour talk, she started to get in work, and this is a potential cover for her book, which is called I Am Madison's Mommy, 9 Lessons I Learned from Raising a Child Entrepreneur, because those are skills, and she's starting to get speaking engagements and do things that she didn't think were possible, before we had that conversation. That's what coaching should be. And that's what you should be doing when you're rocking and rolling. So, you have things in you, you have skills, you have things that just need to be drawn out, and you need somebody to come in and kind of take away all the excess. So yeah, that's what coaching does, and that's what you should do if you don't book yourself. Now, let's get down to brass tacks, shall we? 'Cause I like brass tacks. I know you like brass tacks. So let's talk. I like brass tacks, and this is my favorite. So I am happy to announce that I am getting ready to launch the Book, Speak, Close, Repeat coaching program, and I am only doing it for 8 folks. It's an annual coaching program. It is $20,000, and that's payable in monthly increments. And you get to work with me. You get to work with my booker, Adrian, who is an absolute amazing individual, and we rock and roll, and you will get booked all over the place, all over the place. And I'm talking about TV. You're talking about somebody who, it was executive producer of Fox 5 Good Day New York. So you're talking about somebody who, as far as I'm concerned, is one of the best bookers in the game. She's getting me booked all over the place. And if you look at it like this, if you're getting $4,000 or $5,000 gigs, then you've already paid for your year, just from 4 bookings, depending on how you are, where you are in your process. Building your ebooks, getting your website functioning, as far as getting it set up, your YouTube channel, what your Facebook page should look like. All of those things are going to be provided for you, done for you. Set it and forget it, and we're going to rock and roll. So that's going to be an awesome experience, for 8 folks, and I'm excited to be able to offer that to folks. Also, I know good and well that there's some folks who are like, oh my God, people are burning. And that's fine, man. It's going to be an awesome situation for those folks who are there. But I know you got a lot of stuff going through there, but I'm going to take you by the hand, me and my team, and you're going to learn how to book yourself. You're going to have a speech or 3 that you'll be able to pull from, how to sell from the stage in massive ways, and other benefits. And it's going to be an amazing thing, but you might not necessarily be there yet. So we have a 6-month program that is a mastermind group. Okay. And so not only is you see how I put Elliot in the hot seat, I'm going to put everybody in the hot seat, and everybody will be there to hold each other accountable. And it's going to be an amazing situation. And if you wanted to do the whole thing, for 6 months, that's $49.97, or you can pay $44.97 tonight. And then once the program starts, it's 5 payments of $9.97. Shay said, let me go hit the pole in the corner to make this money and be one of your 8. I know that's right, man, but that's what payment plans are for. And like I said, it's an amazing experience any way you slice it. Now, there are some people, who literally want to get in and just, get their DIY on. Totally fine. I have an entire Book Yourself course, that comes with lessons from myself and Adrian, as far as what to do. Also, lots of video training, and there's also going to be 2 live Q&A sessions for folks who sign up for that tonight. That is $9.97 or 3 easy payments of $325, which is absolutely an amazing, amazing situation. And I'm extremely happy because I want to be able to help you develop your platform. And it's an awesome experience to be able to do so. And now, ladies and gentlemen, and lady friends, guess what? I'm going to stop sharing this screen. All right, so hopefully everybody can see me. And that's an amazing thing there. So let's do a little Q&A. See what questions that you have, because I definitely want to be able to answer all of those questions, and do that in a very, very personal way. So let's get those questions popping. What questions do you have? What can I answer for you? Yes. Okay, good. I'm glad you can see me. All right. What questions do you have? Because I want to be able to answer them. And then we're going to go ahead and make some things happen here. Yes. Waiting here. Program will start. Great question. Thanks for asking. The program will be starting October 3rd. Andrew said, thanks for sharing your genius. Okay. And let me go back here. Get this back up. Yes, indeed. So get that knocked out for you. Yes, indeed. So yes, what are your questions? Yes, indeed. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this up. So let me give you the options one more time so you know where you are. So the annual one-on-one coaching, where I'm only doing for 8 folks, it's 20,000, which breaks down to 1,700 a month. So that's going to be absolutely awesome. So that's me and my team, including Adrian, who is my booker, and that means you're going to get booked. There's going to be ghostwriting. There's going to be speech development, and then the bonuses. The bonuses, and these are the big ones. First and foremost, let's see here. Let's see. I'm getting the questions in now. They're kind of moving slowly. Let's see what we have here. There is a delay, so forgive me for that. Now, let's see here. Let's see. Okay, so Andrea says, in regards to starting to change, do you just start at $500? Starting to charge, I'm sorry, do you start at $500? I would, especially if you're an adult. Like, yeah, absolutely. Lisa said, over the summer, I had the opportunity to speak with a group of youngsters / mentor them. Absolutely awesome. Andrew said, I know you have to take budget, etc. into consideration. Absolutely. Elliot said, but seriously, for the coaching program, are there any guarantees? All right, absolutely. So listen, let me walk you through everything really quickly, and we'll go through it. So with the annual one-on-one coaching, you get unlimited access to me. You also get the ability to be booked by my booker, who again is Adrian Paxton. She was the executive producer for Fox 5 Good Day New York. She has an extremely heavy Rolodex. So that means that you don't have to worry about anything but developing your speech and working with me. And we work, tooth and nail for a year, hammering out what goes on, hammering out how you move. You also get a special video training from Les Brown, which is an amazing thing in and of itself. And keep in mind, I told you Les costs $100,000 for training. So to be able to get speaker training from Les via video is worth the entire cost of the program. Trust me, it has changed my life monumentally. And I'm giving that to you. You're also going to get a copy of every single one of my manuals. So pitch, close, upsell, repeat. You're also going to get a copy of my Facebook Live Bully, my YouTube Marketing Bully. Now with the YouTube Marketing Bully, that is the book where I unleash every single secret I have when it comes to being able to get to 2.5 million views on YouTube. 2.5 million views on YouTube. See, a lot of people focusing on subscribers. Subscribers are cool, but it's about engagement. So 2.5 million people have viewed stuff that I've put on YouTube. So that's incredible. Snapchat Marketing Bully, I have that. Facebook Live Bully, YouTube Bully. So those books in and of itself are great. Also, Common Sense Ain't Common, which I wrote with Les Brown. You want to get a copy of that. You're also going to get a lot of hidden gems and bonuses just about structuring your social media, structuring your sales pitch, different types of pitches, my cold call closing offers. You're also going to get a guide to what I send out when it comes to booking me sight unseen that will always get someone to call me. I'm going to show you all of those things and more. And so it's going to be an amazing thing. And yes, indeed. So let's go ahead and make sure that you can actually see my screen. Let's get this back up here. And I'm going to show you the screen so we can get this cracking for you. And again, that is that. And of course, the damn screen wants to keep doing its thing. There we go. Technical difficulties, people. Yes, indeed. So, like I said, you get a video training with me, unless you get pitch, close, upsell, repeat. You get all of my social media marketing bully package. Let's call it that. You also get the use of my personal booker for an entire year. That's booking you for TV appearances, radio appearances, speaking engagements, colleges and universities, things of that nature. So you are going to get the full Monty. You are going to get rocket ship pushed into what it's like to do speaking full time. And I'm also going to take you by the hand and show you other things that are important when it comes to just running your speaking business, what that looks like, not only from being a speaker, but also from a tax perspective, what it is to pay your taxes quarterly, because you have enough money to pay them quarterly so you don't have to keep up with that. Having a separate bank account for those things. All of that stuff's going to be in there. How do you turn something that seems so silly, like a love of LeBron James, into a business where you can actually go and speak to basketball coaches to get them inspired? I have a client that actually does that. I can tell you everything in the world about LeBron James. And it's amazing how folks can get in there and really do what's necessary to take things to the next level. Let's see here. I'm just trying to get all the questions answered here. Abina says, is it possible to be a speaker and still keep your privacy? Don't want to be famous, but want to get my message out and have had requests for speaking a lot more. Well, I will tell you this. I do not consider myself a celebrity. I don't want to go to a point where I can't take my little girls out, for barbecue or do any of that. So yeah, it's extremely important. So you can do that. So here's what's going to happen. Let's see here. So here's the thing. If you decide to make this happen and you decide to make this investment, I definitely will tell you this. You will be booked every single month from the time that you're ready to get out here and start making money, to start selling from the stage, to start making things happen. If you have an event that you're speaking at, you will also have media to go along with that event, to support that event. That is what my personal promise to you is. This is not a fly-by-night. Somebody just threw this together last night because they had nothing better to do. I've poured my entire life into speaking. I poured my entire life into selling, and I've been very, very good at doing it and making a living for myself, to the point where, I could, go in and every once in a while work a gig just for the heck of it, just because I wanted to learn a new skill. So I'll give you an example. I was working at a place that was selling software, and I wanted to learn how to sell software. And so I went and I learned how to sell software, and then I took that knowledge and got Comcast to pay me for how to sell software. So you do little things that make sense, but you don't ever have to worry about where the next check is coming from. You don't ever have to worry about where those issues are coming from. Now, when it comes to the 6-month program, I don't shortchange anyone. Okay, no, my booker Adrian Paxton is not going to book you, but you will learn how to book yourself. I will teach you how to sell from the stage. You will have access to me. You will have the ability to ask me any questions that you want. I will critique your speech, and the gigs you book, by the way, they will all be paid. There will be no freebie gigs at all. Not ever, not at all. Every gig that I book is paid. I can't work for free, and I will tell you why. My wife does not work. My daughter has her photography business. My baby needs things. I got to get car seats and minivans and also other crap. I don't have time. So I cannot sit up here at this stage in my game, 25 years in, and not get you paid. That would be stupid. Like, hey, give me some money, and you ain't gonna get paid. I'm just gonna show you how to. No, that just sucks. And it's my job to get you to the best possible level that you can get to. Are you going to be me? Are you going to be doing zany, crazy Bill Cosby impersonations at the drop of a hat? No, if that's not what you do, I don't want to turn you into me. I want you to develop into the best you know how to be. And that is priceless. And so we'll give you tips. We'll teach you things, that are going to expand your vision and expand your mind and actually get you paid and teach you what to say, how to book yourself, who to look for, where the meeting planners are, where they congregate, different websites and tricks to the trade, work on your package, all of those things. And all of those things in that 6-month course, you're going to walk away from knowing that you're going to be better off than what you were. So let's break down the 6-month course. It is just like the 12-month course, except you will not be booked by Adrian or myself. You will be booked by yourself. You will learn everything you need to learn to book yourself. You will also be given coaching as to how to create your ebook, how to create your visual picture of what you look like online. I'm also going to walk you through what you should be doing on social media, how often you should be posting. There will be Q&As that will happen every single week. For the entire 6 months. There's going to be 2 Q&As a week. One is a hot seat Q&A, where I actually put one of you in a hot seat. We go over your speech, and then I begin to break it down, and then you also get tips and tricks from other speakers who are learning along with you. And then I'm also going to be bringing in some other experts who speak all the time. So this is absolutely doing what it needs to do, which is getting you to the next level. I have to tell you, one of the hardest conversations I've ever had in my life was when I stopped being Taz Daddy. I've been Taz Daddy for a good 12, 15 years. And my wife said, you know what? It's just to a point now, like you're a grown man. You have to let folks know who you really are. You won't be able to do that. You'll be limited by that audience that just knows you as a hip hop DJ or as a radio producer. You're more than that. You've always been more than that, and you don't need it. And for 3 days, I argued about it. But what she did was she sat me in a room and she literally whittled down everything off of me that I did not need. And when I came out of that room and we got finished arguing and fighting and crying and praying and all that good stuff, the very next day I was booked on TV as David Anderson. So there comes a point where once you're awakened to the skills that are already laying dormant, you want to be able to use them immediately. And that's what the 6-month program will do. I'm going to whittle away everything that has no value to you and give you things and show you and expose things that are going to make. And so that's what we'll do. And So you want to make sure that you get to sell. You want to be able to speak with me. You're going to be able to answer, ask me any questions that you'd like to ask. And we're really going to work with you. This is going to be an intensive program. There's going to be a lot of accountability. You will have homework. There are things that you're going to have to do. I'm going to critique everything from your Facebook Live modules to your Instagram posts to the things that you're putting up on social media to your headshots. I'm going to critique absolutely everything, and we're going to get you so tight. We're going to get you tighter than a brand new drum, because it's important for you to look your best and be where you need to be in this group. Now, there are folks who literally just want to do this themselves. They want to take it by the horn. That's great. So what this is, this actually comes with social media guides. It comes with the video training, and I'm going to break down everything that's in the book Speak, Close, Repeat program in those video modules. And you will get all of those things sent right to you. You can do it on your leisure, at your pace, and you'll be able to work from there. And that's an easy situation. That's $9.97 or 3 payments of $5. So it makes a lot of sense for you to go ahead and knock that out if you're a go-getter, if you don't feel like you need to have those things. Now you can always, shoot an email my way and go from there, but it's going to be an amazing experience any way you slice it on all these levels. I want to work with 8 people individually, one-on-one. It's going to be phenomenal, and of course, payment plans are extremely easy to do, and we've already got that stuff set up for you. So if you want to do that, again, you're going to get the full Monty. You'll be booked. Everything is done for you. Basically, you just show up, you follow instructions, you show out, you close from the stage, you make more money, you do what you need to do, and you go home bigger than ever. And that's what you want to do. You want to be able to sit back. You want to be on the Breakfast Club. You want to be able to share the stage with legends like Dick Gregory and Les Brown and Brendan Burchard and Tony Robbins and folks of that nature, because you have something great to offer. You want to make sure that you get things really Trump tight there. With the Mastermind program, it's not only just me and my team, it's a community. And then I want to talk to you really quickly about this. This to me is the greatest thing ever, because you get to have all of my guides. You get to have Pitch, Close, Upsell, Repeat. You get to have, my Snapchat, my Facebook, my Twitter guides, my social media guides, all of those guides there. You get 4 videos from me. You also get the bonus video training from Les Brown. You get 2 live Q&A sessions. So that's where you can ask those questions, so you don't feel like you're alone, even though it is a home study course. You can move at your own pace. Look, I get it. Sometimes people are not necessarily ready to go all in, to play full out, but you want to be able to make a move. You want to start making progress. You want to see that work. Sometimes you're not ready to go 5 days a week at the gym. I get it. So we're going to work out twice a week, and then we're going to build our stamina. And so that's what we're doing there. And we want to make sure that you understand that nothing is being held back. There's not any nuggets that you're not going to get that are going to be held back from you from doing what it is that you need to do. So this is a great program. We put a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of years into putting this situation together. I've dedicated my life to being the best speaker I know how to be. I wanted to work with the best and go ahead and do everything that I possibly could do to get you to the next level, to make you a better person, so that when you came to me, I would be ready to show you something great. My mother was a teacher and she retired, but I wanted to be the type of teacher that could teach on what I wanted to teach on, the things that I was passionate about. You have passions that have nothing to do with me or nothing to do with what I like to do, but there are people out there. There's a tribe out there waiting for you right now in order to make it happen. And you know what? I'm going to do this. For the first 5 people who sign up for the Book Yourself course, I'm gonna make this thing sweeter. The first 5 people who sign up get a one-on-one hour session with me, top down. Ask me anything, nothing's off limits. whatever favors, whatever you want to ask at that point, that is your time. You're going to get that as a bonus for signing up right now for the Book Yourself course. So we are rocking and rolling here. I want to make sure that you understand that this is going to be an amazing situation, and I can't wait to share it with you, and I can't wait for you to get it. So what I want to do at this point is open everything up for questions, and then we're going to rock and roll, and I'm going to put up the links so that you guys can go ahead and start ordering, and we will go from there. So, all right. Awesome. Elliot says, wow, that's a really good question. That's a really good question. Let's see, I'm going to back up here. Wow. Let's see here. Seriously, for coaching program, are there any guarantees? Absolutely. You're going to get booked. You're going to get paid. You're going to be a better speaker than when you came out. I guarantee that. You will get booked. So some things I have to put in my clinical note. You are amazing. Whoever wasn't here missed out on a wealth of info. Yashay says, okay, for the packages, is it the basic plan and the writer? I don't understand the question. Absolutely. Yashay, I see you. Yes, Elliot. Yes, my booker's fee is included in the 20K. Absolutely. When I say it's a done for you course, that's what it means. It's done for you. You don't have to worry about that. But no, we're not gonna. You're not gonna pay $20,000 and then turn around and have to do it all over again. That would just not like. That wouldn't make sense. Like, there's no value in that. When I say done for you, that is done for you. Like, you don't have to worry about that. You're paid. So there's you're already covered. So for that year, you don't have to worry about booking. You don't have to worry about that. So let's go back here. Let me show this to you one more time and get this knocked out. Yes, indeed. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to be happy to answer any questions. But yeah, I know, that there's some folks, and I'm already getting emails right now about folks wanting to do the full Monty, and I want, everybody to do the full Monty, but I am not, I ain't that far removed. Again, I'm the son of a single mom from the projects, so we got to start making these things happen. Again, the first 5 folks who sign up for the Book Yourself course get a one-on-one with me. And again, 3 easy payments at $325. It's a bargain, so you need to make sure that you, take advantage of that right away. And this daggone thing. And on top of that, you have the mastermind program that comes with the Facebook group as well. The accountability lessons, Q&A. We're going to go over selling from the stage. The full Monty is going to be absolutely amazing. But just so that you understand, like, I'm not holding anything back on any of these levels. So when we launch, these are pre-launch prices because they will go up. Because I don't have the time to play. If you're ready to play full out, I want to play full out with you. I don't want you to play small anymore. I have to tell you, I had magic feather syndrome. I thought that no one would want to listen to some fat kid from the hood speak about business, because I didn't walk around with a suit and I wear a mohawk and a big beard and, I got jokes. I didn't think anybody would take it seriously. But then I remembered I help people make millions of dollars. That in and of itself is extremely important, and I am grateful for my place in the universe, to be able to help folks and to get things to the next level. So it's an amazing opportunity, and these spots are going to fill up quickly, but I wanted to make sure that we did something extremely special for the folks who are here. And I want you to make sure that you take full advantage of what's happening, because this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. There come moments in your life where you look back on them and say, you know what, I'm happy I did that. The last thing you want to do is live with regret or miss out on the opportunity to make things happen. So, here's what I would do. Here's what I'm going to do. For those who want to, because I'm going to be honest, this is not for everybody. Okay. I'm going to need you to go to a website for me. And the website is ibranduniversity.com/apply. So we're going to take applications for those who are interested. So Elliot, you can go ahead and apply, for the full program, and then you can ask whatever questions you'd like to ask at that particular point. But when it comes to the Book Yourself course, the first 5 folks who sign up are going to get a free one-on-one session with me for an hour, where we go through everything and I pour myself into you and do everything I possibly can to get you to the next level. So it's going to be an amazing situation. So I'm excited for you. I hope you're excited, because we're about to take things to a whole new level. I am thrilled and really just overwhelmed with excitement, to see folks on college campuses. And oh, by the way, the 8 folks who get into that are selected for the annual one-on-one coaching will share stage with me. We will be doing some tour dates, depending on your area and where you are, so that you can actually get that experience and be around other speakers, and really at that point you'll have honed your craft to the point where it'll made sense in a year for us to do that. Also, my Elite 8 will also be featured in my upcoming documentary, which is called Preventable Death, which is going to be awesome. So I'm going to tell you, we're going to open this up, and these deals are only good for the next 24 hours. So that link goes live in the next 20 minutes. So I'm going to put the link up. Again, iBrand University /apply. And when you go there, those links will pop up in the next 15 minutes. The application is already there, but the links will pop up in the next 15 minutes. And when they do, pounce on them, because when those spots are gone, they are gone. So, that's what it is. It starts in the next 15 minutes, and then you have until midnight tomorrow night to act. After that, I'm shutting it down until I launch again on the 3rd, when the course actually starts. And then we'll go from there and we'll make some things happen. But I will tell you that these prices are going to go up. So I wanted to make sure that you got in here, because you took action by signing on to the webinar, by registering, by spreading the word, by showing up. And I appreciate that. So thanks so much. I appreciate you guys. And we'll see you soon. So you take care, man. Thank you so much for coming. The link should be in the chat room if it's not already. ibranduniversity.com /apply. ibranduniversity.com /apply. See here. For some reason, that slide's not coming up, so I'm just going to put it in the room. Forgive me, guys. Here we go. Okay, thank you so much. Yashay, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much. iBring University /apply, ibringuniversity.com/apply. Make sure you go right now, iBring University /apply. You go ahead and you apply, and we'll talk soon. Thank you so much. Take care.